Hello, my name is Colby Sharp. I am a 5th grade teacher from Michigan. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel where we try to help kids fall in love with reading through the power of story, through amazing books. If you're new to my channel, hope you'll consider subscribing so you can get a notification anytime I release a new video. Today we're going to be talking about one of the best school days of the entire year, World Read Aloud Day, which this year falls on February 3rd, 2021, the 12th annual World Read Aloud Day. And every day is a great day to celebrate reading aloud, but you need that one day to really blow things out of the water and just celebrate story, celebrating the power of story when read aloud with a group of children. There's nothing in the world like it. Today I'm going to be telling you about 5 picture books that I think would make excellent choices for World Read Aloud Day. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of books that are great for reading aloud, and I just decided to pick 5 books that I thought would be perfect for this year's World Read Aloud Day. First up is my favorite book in the whole wide world. It's by Malcolm Mitchell. It is illustrated by Michael Robertson. I love this story, and part of the reason I love this story is because of Malcolm's story. Malcolm was a college football player at the University of Georgia in Athens, highly recruited out of high school, amazing athlete. And when he was at Georgia, he realized, wow, like reading's really hard for me and I'm not in a position to be successful in college and in life. And he took it upon himself to read and read and read and eventually fall in love with reading and become a great reader. And then eventually, even though he was an NFL player, also became an author. He talks about his story at the beginning of my very favorite book in the whole wide world. And it's about a boy who struggles with reading. And when the teacher gives them the assignment of what is your very favorite book in the whole wide world, it gives this young reader a tremendous amount of anxiety and stress. And it's just a beautiful story about what books can do and about finding that right book and the power that that one right book can have on a reader. I love this book. I would read this aloud on World Read Aloud Day with my 5th graders, but I already read it to them and we loved it and we learned a little bit about Malcolm and that added to the story. Such a good book, my very favorite book in the whole wide world. Book number 2, I wanted to make sure I had a little nonfiction on this list for you. It is Candace Fleming and Eric Roman's Giant Squid. If you haven't seen this book, you are missing out. It is wow. Eric is a Caldecott medal-winning illustrator, and you can see it in this. Candace is one of the great writers, especially nonfiction writers of our time, and I absolutely love this book. I actually stole it from one of our teachers in the building because I couldn't find my copy, but just it's just amazing. It's got just the giant squid is such a mysterious creature. The words are so amazing. The pictures, it's just a dynamite team. Giant Squid, if you're looking to read aloud some nonfiction on World Read Aloud Day, I think this would make an excellent, excellent choice. They actually have another great book that would make an excellent choice. It's on my pile for a different video I'm going to make eventually called Honeybee. I hope this becomes like a really long series because these two are pretty awesome at the nonfiction together. All right, book 3. We have a narrative nonfiction title here. This is one of, I just am fascinated by like picture book biographies and how we can learn about these amazing people that many of us had never heard of. And this is a great example of that. The Oldest Student, How Mary Walker Learned to Read by Rita Lorraine Hubbard and Oge Mora. This woman learned to read so old. She was so old when she learned to read. It's just the wildest story. I love that in the end, at the end papers, they have actual photographs of Mary. But like, who learns to read at 116 years old? Who lives to be 116 years old, let alone learning to read? It's a wild story. It's just amazing also to see like where the country was at when she was born and where the country was at when she learned to read and where the country is at now. Amazing book. I love it. The kids are just blown away. Like they can't even believe that this is real, and often that makes for some of the best narrative nonfiction. The Oldest Student, highly recommend you read this book aloud, Global Read Aloud Day or any day. Look at this. You're never too old to learn. Oh, I don't think I've read this to my students yet this year. I'm gonna need to change that. Maybe on World Read Aloud Day. Next up, I have two last books by 2 authors that I think are just read aloud geniuses, like their books beg to be read aloud. Ryan T. Higgins, Mother Bruce, so funny, such a great read aloud. Kids can't get enough of it. They laugh hysterically. There's other books in the series that they'll want to read on their own. His other books like Be Quiet, We Don't Need Our Classmates, We Will Rock Our Classmates. His books are just so much fun to read aloud. They're so fun. It's almost like a Toy Story, right? Like the kids and adults are enjoying it for similar reasons and different reasons. The book is just written for everyone. This book is so fun. Check out the case too. Check it out, check it out. Oh, isn't that magical? Mother Bruce, highly recommend. If you don't know Ryan's books, you have to change that because you would just make all the kids in your life so happy. And finally, Dan Santat's After the Fall. I almost picked Beagle, but I went with After the Fall because one thing that After the Fall does is it just blows readers' minds in a way where they just like can't even, they're like speechless. They don't even know what happened. They can't even process what they just experienced. And when you finish reading this book, you have to talk about it. You have to talk about it with other people. Like when I first read this book, I was like carrying it around with me everywhere and making adults in my life read it. And I would just like stare at them while I read it because I wanted to talk to them so much after they finished it. Like immediately after they finished it, I wanted to have a conversation with them about the book. So After the Fall, an amazing book to read aloud. I highly recommend all of Dan's books. They are visual candy and beautifully done. After the Fall, one of my all-time favorite books to read aloud. Please let me know down in the comments below what books you're going to be reading aloud this year for World Read Aloud Day, how you're going to be celebrating World Read Aloud Day with your readers. Thank you so much for reading books aloud. I am here today as a teacher sitting in this classroom because of the books that my teachers read aloud to me, and I'm thankful for that every single day. My name is Colby Sharp. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an awesome-tastic